In the book of Revelation, chapter 11, there's a fascinating passage about two witnesses who appeared during the end times. These witnesses are described as prophesying for 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth, which symbolizes mourning and repentance. They are given great power to perform miracles, such as shutting up the sky so that it does not rain and turning water into blood. These miraculous signs serve as testimony to their authority as messengers of God. Many interpretations exist regarding the identities of these two witnesses. Some believe they are symbolic representations of the Old Testament prophets Elijah and Moses, while others see them as representing the church or believers who are called to prophesy during the tribulation period. Regardless of their exact identities, the key message of their role is to proclaim God's truth and warn of impending judgment during the end times. The appearance of the two witnesses coincides with a time of great turmoil and persecution on the earth. They are described as being opposed by the beast from the abyss, also known as the Antichrist, who ultimately kills them. Their bodies lie in the street of the great city, symbolically referred to as Sodom and Egypt, for 3.5 days, while people from all nations mock and celebrate their deaths. However, after 3.5 days, God breathes life into them, and they stand up, striking fear into those who witness their resurrection. A great earthquake occurs, and 1/10 of the city collapses, killing 7,000 people, and causing the rest to fear God and give him glory. The second woe is past, but the third woe is yet to come. The story of the two witnesses in Revelation serves several purposes. It highlights the ongoing spiritual battle between good and evil during the end times. Despite facing opposition and persecution, the witnesses remain faithful to their calling and continue to proclaim God's truth. Their miraculous signs demonstrate God's power and authority over the forces of darkness. Even in the midst of chaos and turmoil, God's sovereignty prevails. Additionally, the fate of the two witnesses serves as a warning to those who oppose God and his messengers. Their resurrection and the subsequent judgment upon their enemies underscore the certainty of divine retribution for those who rebel against God's will. Overall, the story of the two witnesses in Revelation serves as a powerful reminder of God's faithfulness to his people, his sovereignty over all creation, and the ultimate triumph of good over evil. It encourages believers to remain steadfast in their faith and to boldly proclaim God's truth, even in the face of opposition and persecution. Following their resurrection, the two witnesses ascend to heaven in a cloud while their enemies look on in awe. This dramatic event marks the conclusion of their earthly ministry and serves as a testimony to their divine mission. The people who witness their resurrection are struck with fear and awe, realizing the power and authority of God displayed through the witnesses. The story of the two witnesses in Revelation offers several key lessons for believers. Firstly, it underscores the importance of remaining faithful to God's call, even in the face of opposition and persecution. Despite the intense hostility they faced, the witnesses remained steadfast in their proclamation of God's truth, ultimately triumphing over their enemies through divine intervention. Secondly, the story highlights the reality of spiritual warfare and the ongoing battle between good and evil. The witnesses' confrontation with the beast from the abyss represents the cosmic struggle between God and the forces of darkness. Their miraculous signs and eventual victory demonstrate God's power to overcome the enemy and vindicate his faithful servants. Moreover, the fate of the two witnesses serves as a warning to those who oppose God and his messengers. The swift judgment upon their enemies underscores the certainty of divine retribution for those who rebel against God's will. It reminds us that God is just and will ultimately hold all people accountable for their actions. The story of the two witnesses offers hope and encouragement to believers facing persecution and adversity. Their example of unwavering faith and courage inspires us to persevere in our own journey of faith, trusting in God's promises and provision. It reminds us that God is with us always, even in the midst of life's greatest trials. Furthermore, the story of the two witnesses points to the ultimate victory of God's kingdom over the powers of darkness. Their resurrection and ascension symbolize the triumph of life over death and the fulfillment of God's redemptive plan for humanity. It foreshadows the glorious return of Christ and the establishment of his eternal kingdom, where righteousness will reign forevermore.